Welcome to The Explainer. So, have you ever looked at your investments and just wondered, when is this all going to pay off? When is everything about to change? Well, most people actually miss the quiet signals that their wealth is about to take off. Today, we're going to uncover those 7 signs.
Yeah, it's a really powerful question, isn't it? Because the truth is, most of us completely miss the subtle warnings that compounding gives before it truly begins to accelerate. It's not loud, it's definitely not obvious, but you know how you can feel a shift in the air right before a storm? It's kind of like that. Your finances send out these little signals too.
Right, so these aren't some kind of flashing neon sign. They're much more subtle. But spotting them is so important because it gives you the confidence to know that yes, the process is working, especially during those long periods when it feels like absolutely nothing is happening at all.
All right, so let's dive right in. The first 4 signals, and this is key. They're not really about the numbers on your screen. Nope. They're about these crucial fundamental changes in how you think and feel about your money.
Okay, signal number 1. The growth feels slow, steady, and boring. Yeah, I know. It sounds like a total contradiction, right? You'd expect this massive, explosive growth to feel, well, exciting. But the very first sign that real compounding is taking root is a feeling of boredom. Those little dramatic day-to-day swings that just stop affecting you. It all just kind of becomes background noise.
And this comparison here, it just nails it. We're all conditioned by movies and stories to think that building wealth is this wild roller coaster ride, thrilling highs, terrifying drops. But the reality of true, powerful compounding, it's way more like a snowball. It starts small, it's quiet, and it builds momentum almost without you noticing until it's this huge, unstoppable force. That boring feeling, that's just the foundation being laid, brick by steady brick. Okay, signal number 2. And this is the one that really tends to blow people's minds. Your money starts to earn more than you contribute. Think about it. At first, you're doing all the heavy lifting, right? You're putting in every single dollar yourself. But then, something shifts. The compounding engine just flips into a higher gear. And one day, you're going to look at your statement and realize, wait a minute, my money's growth just outpaced my own savings this month. That's a huge moment. And this chart, this shows that exact moment, that tipping point. I love to think of my reinvested earnings as these little workers. At the start, I'm the only one on the job site, swinging the hammer. But over time, I hire more and more of these little guys. And eventually, my team of workers is building way faster than I ever could by myself. When their output, their growth, surpasses mine, just like you see here, you know the explosion is getting close.
So that idea naturally leads us to our third signal. In the early days, we all obsess over how much can I save, how much can I invest? But a really crucial mental shift happens when you truly, deeply understand that the calendar has way more power than your paycheck. It stops being about just the money you add, and it becomes all about the time you give that money to do its thing. And this story of Alex and Mark is the perfect example. So get this. Alex invests for only 10 years, but he starts early. Mark invests for a full 30 years and puts in way more money. But who wins in the end? Alex does. How? It's simple. His money had 40 years to compound. He understood the secret weapon, time. He knew the calendar has more power than the paycheck.
All right, signal number 4. This one is a massive psychological turning point. For most people just starting out, a market drop feels like a disaster. It's like a punch to the gut, a personal failure. But once you've been through a few cycles, you start to see what's really going on.
And yeah, this quote just says it all. Fear has turned into opportunity. You begin to completely reframe what a downturn is. It's not a threat anymore, it's a sale. I mean, think about it. If your favorite store suddenly announced a 20% off sale, you wouldn't panic and run away, would you? No way! You'd run towards it, ready to buy. So instead of that knot of fear in your stomach, you start to see that your regular contributions are suddenly buying more shares, more assets than they did just last month. You're not losing, you're actually accelerating your future growth. Making that mental switch is a huge signal that you're on the right track.
All right, so those first 4 signals were all about the mindset shift. Now we get to the fun part. The next set of signals is when the math starts to become undeniably real. This is when that quiet, boring growth starts to have a very loud and very clear impact on your actual everyday life.
This is signal number 5. Your compound growth starts to pay for entire parts of your life. I mean, at first, the earnings are tiny, right? Maybe enough for a coffee. But that little trickle eventually becomes a stream and then a river. And one day, you'll look at your account and it'll hit you. My investments are covering major expenses all by themselves.
Just imagine this for a second. You see an extra $12,000 in growth in a single year. That works out to $1,000 a month, just showing up, automatically. You didn't trade any of your time for that money. It just appeared because your wealth is now officially working for you.
And this is when compounding delivers real, tangible freedom. Suddenly, your rent or your mortgage is covered. That family vacation is paid for. The stress of maybe losing your job, it starts to fade. Because you have this safety net that you didn't just build this month, you built it over the last decade.
Okay, now for signal number 6. This is where things get really fun. Your money begins to grow faster than your goals. We all start out with these goals that feel like we're trying to climb Mount Everest, right? But then that snowball starts rolling so fast, you just blow right past milestones you honestly thought were decades away. I mean, look at this example with Mark. His plan, his spreadsheet, said it would take him over 2 decades to hit his goal. But the incredible power of that compounding curve did it in just 12 years. This is that magical point where you realize your money is literally growing faster than your own imagination.
And that brings us to our 7th and final signal. And this one is the most profound of all. Your thinking shifts from survival to legacy. At the very beginning, money is all about survival, right? Paying the bills. But when your wealth grows large enough, you have this realization that it's going to outlive you. And that changes, well, everything.
Yeah, the questions you ask yourself completely change. You stop asking, how do I pay my bills? And you start asking, what do I want to leave behind? The focus shifts from just securing your own present to actively shaping the future for others. This is the ultimate proof that the compounding explosion hasn't just happened, it has completely transformed your life. So there you have it. We've walked through this entire journey, right? From those really quiet internal mindset shifts to the tangible, life-altering results. The question now is about your own journey.
So, let's do a quick recap of the 7 signals we've just talked about. Each one of these is a milestone on your journey. The key isn't to try and rush through them. It's about recognizing where you are on the path, appreciating it, and just trusting that the next stage is on its way.
So which signal are you looking for next? You know, whether you're right in the middle of that boring phase or you're just starting to see your investments pay for your groceries, the most important thing is to just stay the course. Trust the process. Keep an eye out for these quiet signs and know that the power of compounding is building day by day, getting ready for its own explosion.